We're gonna just reach the pump in part 1, in part 2, and in part 3. Oh fuck, get a big pump. So let's get started on another episode of our homework workouts. Pump 1 for today is going to be all shoulders. So what we will do is we'll combine a dynamic movement, the shoulder front raise, with 2 bottles, right? Heavy ass bottles if we have, if not, something lighter is good as well. And upon completion of the last rep, we'll add a max hold. And a max hold will take as long as you can while the object stays in line with the shoulder or slightly above. But once it starts to drop, you're done. Then you take a minute of rest. No longer than that. Then you do it again, a minute of rest. You do it again, total 3 rounds. Okay, now what we'll do first is we'll show you the front raise and the hold, how it looks like, and some injury options. Let's have a look at Marloes and Daphne. They start with their palms facing down, holding the object. We luckily have handles on our bottles here, and they're going to simply, from the front of their legs, raise it to approximately shoulder height. Let's go. And then slowly bring it back down. Now the idea is, while you guys keep going, is this is going to be the pace as well. So there's no break in the pace here. It is down. Once you come down, you can right back up. What we're not doing is what we did in March, was that very speedy bottle raise kind of type of workout. We now just go for the regular front raise phase. Now what I want them to do here is hold it in the end position. Good. So think about having done just 20 reps of this, shoulders starting to burn a little bit, and now they need to hold it in spot for as long as possible. If that takes 2 minutes, then it takes 2 minutes. It'll be way less for once you start doing more rounds of this. Now, let's come down with the bottles. Let's have a look at Daphne, because Daphne has some pinchy shoulders in there. So once she comes up to that shoulder height, she feels her shoulders a bit too much. So I want you to go into that hinge position and do exactly the same for the rear delt raise. So can you go like 3 or 4 reps of the raise? Boom, bring it up. Now on the 4th one, she's going to hold it in line with the shoulder. Boom, we're just going to squeeze as hard as she can. Shoulder blades are pinched in. And her rear delts are firing in this one because the arms are long. Beautifully. This is a good scaling option to still tag along with us in this workout. Okay, so let's get ready and get that big pump in her shoulders right off the bat. 3 rounds of 20 front raises with the bottles, followed by a max hold with the bottle at shoulder height. Rest a minute. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do 1 round with you guys. So I need you to get off the couch, grab those bottles, and start with us. Let's go. On my countdown, we'll start in 3, 2, 1, and go. So it's not extremely heavy, so I do want you to keep a good pace going on those front raises and try to avoid any form of braking or stopping. The idea is to create an insane pump in the shoulder, get as much blood flow in there as you possibly can by doing 20 unbroken reps. If you cannot do unbroken reps, you need to lighten up the bottle you have in your hand by just pouring half out of it, right? And then you would continue here. Beautiful. So they're counting until 20, and once they're reached that 20th rep, they just keep that thing. And Marloes doing that right now, and Daphne's up, right, to keep it right in line with the shoulder. And they're just going to simply stand there. Now, if you are standing there at home, guys, I do want you to always aim for standing upright. So what you don't want to do is slowly start leaning back. You want to stay as upright as you possibly can. And do this for as long as you can. Now, the first one may take very, very, very long, which is all good because it's not that heavy. But then, if we only rest for a minute and you would start the 2nd round, that's when the real burn starts to set in. That's when the real burn starts to set in. That's when the real burn starts to set in. The real burn starts to set in from the 2nd round on. We just did 1 round. They're still standing here. This video is taking like 4 minutes already. They're still standing here. But after a minute of rest, it will go down. So you guys continue and press pause. Pump part 1 was all shoulders. Pump part 2, it's going to be all glutes here. We're going to combine 3 different movements that are going to hit the glutes big time. We're going to start off in a minute. We're doing glute bridges, but you're going to need your elastic band. So once you have that elastic band, you twist it so it crosses in the middle. You loop it, and then you have a smaller band that is way harder. You're going to put it around right at the bottom of the knees. It's going to be very important. And everything we do, guys, with the band, there always needs to be tension on the band. So you should be able to play guitar with the band there. Very important. So let's have a look at the movements with the demo. So Marloes and Daphne here are both going to be on the floor. And they're going to get up in their basic glute bridge setup with the heels on the floor, toes off the floor, knees bent, but they need to have their legs as wide as they can have bend tension. That's all they need. Now from there, while pushing their knees into the bend, they're going to drive their butt up to the ceiling. Let's go. Hold it for a second, bring it back down. And while they keep going on the reps here, they're forcing their knees into that bend to get some more activation of the glute muscles, which is perfectly done here with that band tucked around it. Now, if this is extremely hard for you, you can always opt to leave the band out of the movement, but for now, we just keep it in there. All right, let's stand up, ladies, and let's have a look at the second movement. For the second one, you can keep the band around the knees. Now, first thing I need you to do is kind of get into a stand that allows you to kind of like, this is what I do before I jump up in the air. So you're going to slightly sit your butt back, have your knees slightly bent, and have your knees pressed to the outside of your foot here. Those are going to be straight. Now what they're going to do is lift up their right leg and place it sideways to the right, and then bring in the left leg but keep tension. And then bring left back, and bring right back in. And while they continue on this pattern, if you just look at the bands, they're always tensed. This is very good for firing the glutes as well, and they're going to feel this after a couple of steps. Now my focus point here is always to keep the toes pointed straight ahead and to keep the knees pressed into the band onto the ankle. Perfectly done. Now if we do this in the workout, you guys can keep going for the camera, that's so good. If we do this in the workout and it says 10 reps, it means 1 is going to the right with both legs and left is then the second rep. Okay, now you guys can stop for a second, get the band off. What we'll do as the last movement in this little thing here is a jumping lunge, alternating. So let's get a couple of jumping lunges in. You jump yourself into a lunge position, let's go, and you go right back up into the next one. Boom, catching yourself. Now your back knee is going to not touch the floor on this set here. You're going to stay a little bit higher, and I want you to keep that base going. The idea is to find a number that you can do unbroken. Let's have a quick break here, ladies. Have a number that you can do unbroken. So, if a jumping lunge is very tough for you to do, instead of saying, I'll do a different movement, I want you to do less repetitions. You do as many as you can, unbroken. If that's 20, you stop. If it's less than 20, you stop there. Right? Now, if you really cannot do a jumping lunge because of an injury, let's say you cannot jump at all, in that case, you'll do forward stepping lunges that Daphne's going to show you right now. So this is going to be your lunge today instead of the alternating jumping lunge if an injury is telling you not to jump in this workout. Beautifully done. Now, if you cannot bend the knee that much, and you still want to have some action going on with the butt, we'll throw in some woodpeckers here. Alternating. So you're going to go with your left hand to your right leg, alternating. Let's go. You get some woodpeckers in there. Boom. Reach. Squeeze your butt on the way up. Good. And the other one. Reach. And the focus point here, while Daphne is going on, is once you drive your leg underneath the body, I want you to not focus on lifting up the upper body. I want you to focus on squeezing your butt. If you squeeze your butt, you get everything back in line. The concept is very important to understand here. We're doing 4 rounds, each round for a max pump. There are 3 movements. We just showed all 3 to you guys. The idea is this. You start on the first one. You go right into the second one, both for quality. Then you move right into the third one for speed with the 20 alternating jumping lunges. And then you take a break as long as you need before starting again on the first one. You don't want to interfere in the round itself. There's no breaks in there, right? You got to complete all the 40 reps before taking a longer break. That's how we're going to do them as well. 10 reps for quality, another 10 for quality, 20 for speed, okay? You guys are ready at home as well? I want you to go on the floor. Wrap that band around your knees, follow me along, and start in 3, in 2, in 1, and go. Good, so heels in the floor, toes are off the floor. We have our knee in a 90-degree angle. We put our butt into the floor, we drive our hips high up into the ceiling. We want to avoid everything that has to do with an arch in the lower back, so we want to keep the back nice and flat. And we want to keep the knees pressed into the band. If you feel your knees are coming in, I want you to fight that by pressing them back out firmly. And you're going to stand up. We start with the right leg here. We keep tension. We step out. We step in. We step out. We step in. That would be 2 reps. And the idea is to keep constant tension on that band while they're stepping. If you have an extremely long living room, you can also just step sideways for 5 reps and then step sideways the other way back for 5 reps. But this is a way of doing it on the spot. And you guys are counting, I'm definitely not. So that was 10 reps, and then they move on to their 20 alternating jumping lunges to create that crazy glute pump that they need for today. We just taxed the shoulders big time. And now we go for the lunges. We're doing it synchronized if you guys look at it, which is perfect. So this should also be done at exactly the same moment. 20 reps, no breaks, baby. 20 reps, no breaks. After that, they'll need their break. Oh, they messed up the synchronization. That is all good. So we did one round together. Good glute pump going on. We've taxed the shoulders. We guys gonna finish this off with 3 more rounds on your own speed. Continue, press pause. Part 1 was the shoulder pump. Part 2 was the glute pump. Part 3 is the ultimate upper body pump. It's time to get as jacked as we possibly can. Now, what we're going to do is, first of all, show you 4 different movements. We're gonna press and we're gonna pull. And then later on, if you have a pressing or pulling related injury, we'll show you the entire flow of the workout adjusted to your injury. So let's have a look first at Marloes and Daphne. Marloes is using a pole and Daphne is using a door handle. You can singly loop it. Daphne makes it a bit easier. Yeah, otherwise it's going to be way too rough. Now, the first movement is going to be an alternating band row. You're going to have a slide knee bend. Upper body is going to be vertical, please. Vertical upper body, that is horizontal upper body. There we go, nice. Then both arms are reached forward, and we're going to pull only the right arm back, elbow close to the body, boom, slowly bring it back in, and then the left arm comes. And that's how we're going to do one at a time. Don't make this a, I'm going to move back and forth. I want you to really focus on pulling one arm back, reaching forward, and then come in with the other arm. In the workout, this will be 20 alternating repetitions, which yes, it makes it 10 per arm, but you're alternating. We're aiming for range of motion of the elbow joint and not of the hand itself. So focus on where the elbow goes and don't worry about how the hand positions itself. Here we go, beautifully done. Now, let's move to the band push-ups. So, you're going to get their band off the object, you're going to move to their spot on the floor. Now, I'm going to show you guys 2 variations here, separately. Marloes is going to have the band around her, because if you're very comfortable in doing sets of push-ups, I want you to go for a big challenge today, and then you're going to have added resistance. You lower, you press against the band. This is a very rough pressing exercise, and because the top position is the toughest part, you get a very good loading on the triceps here. Beautiful. Now Daphne in the meantime has her band double looped around her elbows, and actually has that slingshot effect where she leans into the band, gets some assistance, and then help with the press out. Because the bottom part is easier, the top part is still being done entirely by herself, which is the triceps also taking more loading than you should actually handle in a regular push-up. Perfectly done as well. Now, you move on to our third movement, and now we're going to solely focus on the arms here. We're going to get in some hammer curls. I want you guys to stand in the band. And if you're at home following us on this one, I want you to stand in the band as well. You're going to grab the band, you're going to have the palms facing inwards, which is very important. The thumbs facing forward first, and then the thumbs go towards the ceiling and the shoulder. Hold it and bring it back down, big half circle. And that's how we do our hammer curls here. Beautiful. Keep moving, ladies, keep moving. Squeeze that bicep, bring that arm up nice and high, keep that elbow in spot. Hammer curls, baby. That's what's up. Good. Now, our fourth movement is going to be a tricep extension. For that one, we use the band as our necklace, so we wrap it around our head. We're going to grab the band, and then we're first going to position our elbows in a 90-degree angle, close to the body. That means the thumbs are pointing to the ceiling, and the lower arm is parallel to the floor. Right. From there, we're going to think about our pinkies pressing to the floor, and then we move our pinkies to pressing backwards. And then we come back in, and we press them back down. Good. The elbow, while you guys keep moving, does not move in this position. So the elbow itself stays in spot, and we move our pinky all the way around the elbow in that quarter of a circle that we're making here. A very good way of isolating the tricep muscles, which is exactly what we're doing here. All right, good. Now, let's have a look separately at injury options that we can use. And Daphne is, instead of showing you movement for movement, she's going to show you 4 movements that you can do when you have an injury that is telling you not to do pressing movements. So no elbow extension, no pressing whatsoever. In that case, it's all pulling. The first one stays the same. You don't have to show that. So the first one is still rows with the band attached to the door or the band attached to a pole. The second movement will be a bend over row. Can you show me a bend over row? So you're going to stand in the band. You're going to hinge. Grab the band low, then you're going to pull the elbows up to the ceiling. Just going to do 10 reps of that, alternating. alternating. 10 reps of that, alternating. Beautiful. So that is her second movement instead of the push-up. Now, you can stand up from there, you can keep the band underneath the feet. Then, which you already did, she's going to do the hammer curls with the palms facing inwards, right? Yes. And then her fourth movement, instead of the tricep extension, is going to be a regular curl with the palms facing up. So these are the four movements that you do when you cannot press at all. But now, let's assume that she cannot pull at all. Then everything changes. So then our first movement becomes a chest press with the band. So let's get the band around the back. Good. She's going to have her hands close to the shoulder, elbows, and she's going to press forward. Oh, watch out with your neck. There we go. Press forward, reach in, and come back down. So this is her first pressing movement, right? It's the chest press with the bands. Elbows stay in line with the wrist, you press up. Good. The second movement remains the same as in the original workout. It'll be the band push-up. We will not show you that one again. Then, the third movement now becomes the tricep extension. So now we do the tricep extension again. So we have the band as a necklace, we place it down. So that's suddenly not the fourth movement anymore, but the third movement. And then the final and last movement will be a shoulder tap suddenly. So let's get a shoulder tap in here, because after all that pressing and tricep work, even a shoulder tap will be taxing. And yes, we're going to cross the arm from left to right in this variation of the shoulder tap. And then you'll do that for 10 alternating reps as well. Those are all the injury options and the regular options of the workout. Alright, so it is time to get ready and actually start the last part of this pump session for today. The upper body pump finisher it is. It is 15 minutes of an AMRAP, right? Every movement you start, I need you to finish unbroken if you can. Please try that. Don't go for as many rounds as possible. Try to give me as much pump as you possibly can, right? Let's get started. I want you guys as well to start with us. We all tag along in this one. I'm going to have my SmartWater app set at 15-minute AMRAP. I'm going to count the ladies and you guys at home down as well. We start in 3, 2, 1. Now let's start. So they're starting with 20 alternating band rows. And if you look at how they're moving, this is kind of the pace we're looking for, right? It's not speedy. It's also not extremely slow. They just keep moving with this. They're always moving something. That's the most important thing here. Focus points, guys, with rows is always simple. I want you to think of moving the elbow at which the object is attached. So if the elbow makes big range of motion and we stay at the right posture, we have ultimate back pump going along. Very solid. So alternating reps means you do 10 aside eventually, but I want you to alternate the reps because even the arm that's in front, the lat is actually stabilizing you in the posture. Good, now from the 20 reps we move to the floor where we start doing our band push-ups. Marloes is going to go around for additional resistance. And Daphne is going to have it around her elbows, so it's a bit easier. Both actually, funny enough, is more loading on the triceps. Perfect. So even if you don't have proper push-ups, this might be a very good way to scale the push-ups. And when I talk scaling, I obviously talk about Daphne in this one, right? Solid. Then push-ups 10 reps, then we go to hammer curls. We stand in the band, we have our palms facing inwards, thumbs pointing forward in the beginning. Thumbs pointing all the way to the shoulder in that half circle that we make. Good job. 10 reps of that. Full extension to full flexion of the elbow joint. Get those biceps and forearms to work together. Upon completion of the 10, you make it a necklace and you finish off with some tricep pushdowns. We're about 90 seconds into a round, so a round will take you a little over 2 minutes eventually. So if you can do a good 5 to 6 rounds of this, you will have a crazy pump. 90-degree angle is the start in the tricep pushdown here. Of the elbow, of course, thumbs pointing to the ceiling, pinky pointing down. And when you're in the finished position, your elbow is fully extended, your pinky is pointing backwards. Good. Hi, so that was one round. It did take him approximately 2 minutes, like I said, so I think the pace will slow down significantly. If you can do a good 5 rounds, you had lots of volume of pressing and pulling, and we finish this pump session with a bang. So continue, press pause.